Mr. and Mrs. America and all the ships at sea. Now stop.
Minister, you've been addressing a group of students on the Germany of the 70s. How do you see Germany in the 70s?
Well, prosperous, progressing. But of course, the core of my talk was not about the domestic development of Germany, but about our relations toward the eastern part of the country, our relations towards Poland, Soviet Union, and at the same time, the maintenance of our good relations and maintenance of our good cooperation with the Western powers, especially with the United States.
Well, what is the future? I mean, Germany, I presume, will continue to cooperate with the Western powers and
sure.
be friendly with the Eastern powers.
Sure, we will play our role in the Western Military Alliance, North Atlantic Alliance, as well as in the European economic cooperation, the common market, and at the same time, I guess we will, based upon that cooperation in the West, be able to develop better relations to our eastern neighbors.
Well, as a German defense minister, is it part of your duties to promote militarism in Germany?
What do you mean by militarism?
Well, just a resurgence of German militarism. I mean, always talk of resurgence of militarism in Japan.
Who talks of that?
And there's talk of it in, not talk of it, but there's always a possibility in Germany.
Well, I wouldn't deny that there is a possibility, but those who talk about militarism in Western Germany are the communists in Eastern Germany, not the Americans, and I hope you won't take sides with them.
Well, there's also talk of, I mean, you hear it frequently down in Congress about reducing American forces in Germany and throughout Europe. If that were to happen, what would Germany do then?
It will not happen. It will not happen other than under circumstances of mutual force reductions in East Europe as well as in West Europe. Of course, it's absolutely impossible for us, for political reasons, foreign political reasons, impossible for us to enlarge the German army in order to fill in gaps which would be left open by a partial withdrawal or reduction of American forces. It would be politically impossible because neither our Western allies would like such an enlargement of the German armed forces, nor would our Eastern neighbors like it.
What would the withdrawal of American forces in Europe and Germany do to Germany? I mean, economically and, well, every way.
Economically, it wouldn't mean a damn thing. It would have a bearing in the field of foreign policy, and only in the field of foreign policy. I mean, if one-sidedly, if unilaterally, the West should reduce its forces in Europe, with no regard what the East is doing, or whether the East is doing anything at the same time, this could, psychologically and also militarily, shift the balance in Europe and could leave West European states like Norway, Denmark, Germany, Italy, Greece, Turkey, exposed more than at present exposed to Soviet pressure.
Is the future of Europe based on a balance of power?
Well, I would think that this is a good definition, yes.
And the United States should be a part of that balance?
The United States ought to be a part of that balance as long as on the other side of the equation the Soviet Union is a decisive factor of that side of the equation.
And that's balancing convention and as well as nuclear forces.
Sure. The balance can't be maintained if on the one side of the equation one world power does play its role, and on the other side the other world power is abstaining itself.
Do you see the time when there will be a European nuclear force?
Well, I do not think that this is in the making in the next years. It will, if ever it does happen, will have to be preceded by a political union of Western Europe, at least by the erection of a West European government, which at least is capable of handling from one point for all the West European states their foreign policies as well as their defense policies.
That's the United States of Europe? Something similar?
Yeah, something similar. to the United States of Europe, or you might even call it the United Federation of Europe, or whatever you may call it. But I think that on the one hand, Europe is slowly moving in that direction. On the other, it will take a rather long time, quite a bit of the future to come.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.